folks. Yesterday I started reading Appendix 12 of the Warren Report. Appendix 12 deals with the speculations and rumors that started right after the assassination, and I was going to include it with the 8 chapters that I've already read and posted. I've been meaning to read it for quite a while, but as I was reading it, I realized this is largely a waste of time. Most of these issues have been dealt with in the report itself, and they've been dealt with in these books pictured here by various authors that I'll be reading excerpts from. So I just stopped reading. But I do feel that the first few paragraphs are important. Again, it shows how scholarly the commission was and how adult it was. Adult meaning, yes, we acknowledge how this world really works, how things really work in this world in which we live in. We know it, and you know it too. For example, reporters wanting to be the first one to get the story out, so they innocently report erroneous information, and before you know it, it's spreading like wildfire. People spreading rumors, people spreading gossip. Don't listen to those power people in Washington. Listen to me. I've got the inside information. They're trying to put one over on us. Ordinary people seeing their chance to grab their 15 minutes of fame, so they exaggerate, they embellish, or they outright make up stuff. So I wanted to include these first few chapters, which I've just given you a synopsis of, first few paragraphs, and my little commentary. So I'll let the Warren Commission take it from here. Appendix 12, Speculations and Rumors. Myths have traditionally surrounded the dramatic assassinations of history. The rumors and theories about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln that are still being publicized were, for the most part, brooded within months of his death. Wherever there is any element of mystery in such dramatic events, misconceptions often result from sensational speculations. Lacking the testimony of Lee Harvey Oswald, it has been necessary to reconstruct painstakingly all of the facts that led the Commission to the conclusion that Oswald assassinated President Kennedy, acting alone and without advice or assistance. The Commission has found no credible evidence that he was a member of a foreign or domestic conspiracy of any kind. Nor was there any evidence that he was involved with any criminal or underworld elements, or that he had any association with his slayer, Jack Ruby, except as his victim. The evidence on these issues has been set forth in great detail in this report. In addition, the Commission has inquired into the various hypotheses, rumors, and speculations that have arisen from the tragic developments of November 22nd through the 24th, 1963. It is recognized that the public judgment of these events has been influenced, at least to some extent, by these conjectures. Many questions have been raised about the facts out of genuine puzzlement or because of misinformation which attended some of the early reporting of the fast crowding events of these 3 days. Most of the speculation and attempted reconstruction of these events by the public centered on these basic questions. Was Lee Harvey Oswald really the assassin of the president? Why did he do it? Did he have any accomplices? And why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Many of the theories and hypotheses advanced have rested on premises which the Commission feels deserves critical examination. Many people who witnessed the assassination and the killing of Oswald or were present in the area were a major source of diverse and often contradictory information. As is easily understood under such circumstances, all of the witnesses did not see and hear the same thing or interpret what they saw and heard the same way, and many changed their stories as they repeated them. Moreover, they were interviewed at different times after the event by different people and often under circumstances which made accurate reporting extremely difficult. Even the occupants of the cars in the presidential motorcade were not entirely in agreement in their accounts because they, too, saw and heard what happened from different positions. Moreover, those closest to the assassination were subjected to a physical and emotional strain that tended to affect their recollections of what they thought they saw or heard. Consequently, the presentation of the news from Dallas included much misinformation. This, to some extent, was unavoidable, but the widespread and repetitive dissemination of every scrap of information about the president's assassination and its aftermath has helped to build up a large number of erroneous conclusions. The manner in which local authorities released information about the investigation, sometimes before it could be verified in all detail, has further contributed to the fund of ill-founded theories. Typographical mistakes in the press and failure to transcribe sound accurately from tapes resulted in errors, some of which have remained uncorrected in print at the time of the publication of this report. Much of the speculation that has persisted in one form or another since November 22nd through the 24th came from people who usually spoke in good faith. Some of the errors have resulted simply from lack of complete knowledge at the time of the event. In this category are the statements attributed to doctors at Parkland Memorial Hospital who attended the dying president and described his wounds to the press afterward. It remained for the autopsy in Washington, completed early the next morning, to ascertain the full facts concerning the wounds. The correction of earlier assertions of fact on the basis of later and fuller analysis or investigation is a normal part of the process of accumulation of evidence, but it is not often that the process is conducted in such an intense glare of worldwide publicity, and later corrections have difficulty overtaking the original sensational reports. There is still another category of speculation and rumor that complicated and broadened the work of the Commission. Numerous people claim to have seen Oswald or Ruby at various times and places in the United States or abroad. Others insisted that during the days following the assassination, they had detected significant actions on television that were witnessed by no one else. Still, others assumed from a widely published picture that Oswald was standing on the steps of the entrance of the Texas School Book Depository at the time the president was shot. Throughout the country, people reported overheard remarks, conversations, threats, prophecies, and opinions that seemed to them to have a possible bearing on the assassination. More than a few informants initially told their speculations or professed first-hand information to newspaper and television reporters. Later, many of them changed or retracted their stories and telling them to official investigators. The U.S. investigative agencies expended much valuable time and effort inquiring into these leads. Investigations of a vast number of rumors and speculations reached into almost every part of the United States and to most of the other continents of the world. The Commission's work was also handicapped by those witnesses and other persons connected with the investigation who sold for publication evidence pertinent to the investigation. These persons sold pictures and documents and even recollections, sometimes before the Commission had an opportunity to receive their evidence. Some of the evidence thus published was changed from its original form and gave misleading impressions to the public. The piecemeal release of this evidence, sometimes in distorted or exaggerated form and often out of context, provided the basis for new speculations and rumors or served to reinforce already current ones. The practice was frequently harmful to the work of the Commission and a disservice to the public.